It is great to see you all. We are popping off in the chat. We love it. Hello, Keaton. Hello, Chaos Reach Music. Hello, Mad Long Music, Morgan. Yay, so many folks. Love to see it. Welcome. To anyone who's new here, we'd love to know if it is your first time or if you have been on the stream before. Hop in the chat and let me know. The way I'm a little quiet. Okay, good. I rely on you guys for this. All right. That should be up better now. Thank you guys for always helping me manage the audio and sharing and stuff. I appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. Today, we are going to be listening to your tracks and giving feedback. If you have a specific feedback you want, you're welcome to ask in the chat. If it's just general, broad feedback, or if you're just excited to share something and you want to say that too, then let me know. Yay, Morgan's first time. Hi, Sparker. Perfect. Okay, fabulous. A couple little rules of the trade. The way this is going to work is you are going to post the name of your song in the chat. I will pick the first 5. We'll go ahead and listen to it, and then I'll open up the queue again. We'll reload the queue, and we'll do that until we run out of songs. Only 1 song per person, just to keep it fair and to be sane. And then, only other thing is like good vibes only, but y'all already know that. I love the way folks chat and convene and communicate in the chat box. So please, we're encouraging each other. We're also giving constructive criticism if you've got something you want to share. If you have some tips or techniques, we can all learn from each other. So please feel free to pop in there. Okay, fabulous. I'll think of more things as we go. Oh, another thing is for my favorite ones, I'm going to playlist them. So if you think that one specifically should be playlisted, it's a banger, drop PL down in the chat and I can make sure to add it. And then also I'm going to be sharing the playlist at the end with all the folks on the Discord. So make sure that you are part of the Discord. Link to that is in the description. All right, let's get started. Let's have everybody who's in the chat post the name of their song. So far, we've got a couple, so I'm going to start adding them. We've got, let's see, the first person, I Lied Master. Okay, cool. Let's go. Keaton knows first. We're going to go ahead and add that to the queue. Next, we've got Morgan Southwest solo version. Fabulous. We've got John Eatman. Hi, John. Great to see you. We've got I Wish. And then who else has got one that they haven't typed yet? There's only 3 in the queue so far, so we've got room for a little bit more. Well, if there's no more, then we're gonna go ahead and start. But if there are any more, please do your favorite diva. I love that. And then Chaos Reach Music their track is Your World. Awesome. We'll add that to the queue. That's only 4, but if anybody has an extra one, then I'll put it on, or we'll just wait to the next queue. All right, first one is by Keaton, I Lied Master. Let's give it a listen. Oh wait, actually before we do that, just while I have the final one, remix of Here There Is Light by Andy Moore. Let's add that one before I leave. It's possible. Here is the light. You know what, Madeline? It probably uploaded, but I need to refresh this to get it. But if I refresh this, it's gonna reset the queue, which is actually, you know what? I haven't tried. If I open it in a different link, and then I add it on the queue from here. All I Want Final Master. Is that what it's called? No, There Is Light. Yeah, for some reason I'm not getting that. So go ahead and re-upload that. Not sure where it is. All right, let's go ahead and listen to our first up, which is Keaton I Lied. Cool. Oh, that was a really fun one. I like that one a lot. It's got a great vibe. This feels like with some more mixing and a little bit of production touch-ups, this could be like very ready for the club. Actually, I will say a couple of my notes in here were about getting more stereo width. And if this is for the club, you don't necessarily have to worry about that so much because a lot of clubs are in mono. But if you're not going like straight from here to club, then I would focus on a couple things. One, focusing on the width of the synths because it's all pretty down the center, right? Is this? And we have this beautiful 180 degree sphere of space where we can put our sounds. So instead of having just the vocals and the synth and everything down the middle, think about what can you spread out, and whether that's adding a second synth that you can layer off to the sides or widening the main synth you have, and just adding more elements in general because the synth here is pretty thin and I want to see it bigger. I want to see it thicker in terms of having more frequencies. I would love to hear it be wider and not necessarily more up front. I think once it takes up more like kind of space and height and width in the back, then it's going to be sounding a lot more balanced. The other thing I would say with this guy is the kick, I think, is just a little too clicky. I would find a different kick for this one that hits hard but doesn't necessarily have that really like that's what I heard the entire time was that click. That was like taking up a lot of mental energy for me when I was listening to this. Instead of on the vocals, which sound great. I'm curious if those were subscribed to an amount of vocals per month. Got it. So it's a real person voice, not an AI. Yeah, I think the vocals are great. So I think even like vocals more up front. Other than that, just like general mixing stuff, I think there's the vocals are a little bit hard they're not very clear. I think we need to do a little bit more EQing to the other sounds to make the vocals more clear. But otherwise, I think it's got like a total vibe. I think it sounds great. Sorry, I'm just like realizing that this is the master. So sorry if I was giving a bunch of mixing notes for something that's finished, but hopefully you can take it and think about it for next time. So thank you so much, Keat Notes, for sending this. What a fucking banger. I want to add this to our playlist. Let's go ahead and add it to deck best of deck 17. And again, I'm going to be sharing this on our Discord later. So if you're not part of our Discord, go ahead and join. It is in the link below. All right, next we have, I don't know why it does this. Next was Morgan's, and for some reason it got bumped off the queue. So let's find Morgan's in here and give it a listen. Also, you guys, Morgan, I am in the process of producing a Ableton course. It is like a 20-hour full-on music production course, and I've been working on this for like a year and a half. I finally finished, and Morgan was one of the first beta testers, so she just went through the course and finished. So I'm also excited to hear what she came up with, so let's check it out.
sparkling water mixed with cranberry. Yeah, the sky is opening up. Before you know it, the sky is opening up. Before you know it, the sky is opening up. Before you know it, the sky is opening up. Before you know it, the sky is opening up. Before you know it, the sky is opening up. Before you know it, the sky is opening up.
Wow! Oh my God, I'm so proud. This is really exciting. It's so good, babe. Way to go. This is fucking tight. One, your vocals are gorgeous. Your runs, your control, like you have so much power. Clearly, this is an instrument you've been fine tuning, and I'm really impressed with the vocal mixing. Honestly, like the vocals sound really good. Notice, guys, how I normally tell people to keep their most important sounds down the middle, so vocals, kick, bass, snare, right? But that's just open for interpretation. In this case, Morgan has her vocals hard left and hard right. So it's a very wide pan of the vocals, and it sounds great. And there's lots of pop music where you can hear that interpretation of vocal placement. And again, it's just whatever style you want, whatever you want to do. It could be fun, Morgan, to do certain sections like for the more verse stuff in the middle, and then bring in that nice width for the chorus and kind of change it up a little bit. It definitely has like a rolling energy to it, right? Like before you know it, it's you have the looping bass / guitar, which I would also move to the center more because I think it's a little bit distracting having it on the outside. So actually, quick mix note, I'd bring that, put it down the center or close to down the center, and then also bring down your vocals a little bit and the drums up more, and it'll sound much more evenly mixed. But yeah, it's got like this like droning like on and on quality. So I wasn't even like necessarily mixing a lot of like change up between the verse and the chorus, because that's not really the energy of the song, right? It's more just like a kind of like a meditation or something that you fall into. The only thing that could be cool at the very end is having it get kind of even bigger and more expansive in terms of like maybe reverb or delay on the vocals, or like other vocals coming in, like it can maybe a little bit of like kind of vocal chaos. Maybe what is that thing where like you start singing from one word and then a different version of you sings starting on a different word, and then you're singing the same thing but hitting the words at different times, like that could be kind of cool to kind of make it almost like a washing machine that like breaks at the end, and that's how the song ends. But just some ideas. Great work. So stoked on this, and so stoked to see how you keep creating, and really, really happy to hear that you enjoyed the course. And for anybody who's interested in the course that we're talking about, it should be coming out early next year. I want to get it out as soon as possible. Shoot me a DM if you're interested, and I'll make sure you know right when it comes out. Cool. For the folks who joined a little bit late, the way this works is we have 5 people, or we have everyone say the name of their song. I pick the first 5, I put it in the queue, we listen to that, and then I ask again for another 5 songs, and then people submit them. So we have a couple more songs in part of this queue, and then I'll ask for more, and then we can upload them or add them onto the queue. All right. Next up, we have I Wish by Ayura. Let's give it a listen. What a vibe and a half on this one. John, love this track. Really, who was saying, Amethyst said a total like going for a drive in late at night vibe, 100%. I can see this really coming through on a lot of like playlists and yeah, set off your Anjuna Deep. That is not the first time you've mentioned that. I need to write that down to listen to it later. Anjuna Deep label. Who do I know? Any one of these? Lane 8. Love their music. Sick. The only things I have really for this one is I love this synth. John, I know you do the hardware synth, or I think that's you who does hardware synth. Love that. The only thing from like a mixing perspective, I think there are times that I really like the level of that main synth, and other times we're just too up front. I think just that in comparison with the drums, like the drums are so far back and this is so far forward, I would take these synths and push them back just a little bit and then bring the drums and bring them forward a little bit, and I think that'll be a nice balance. And then other than that, the only other kind of creative points I made is you have this like long section of like silence here. And I was hearing some maybe like cool like vocal swirlies or like vocal chops. I don't know if you fuck with Crystallizer by Sound Toys, but I love Crystallizer. And or if you don't, Portal does a similar things. But and if anyone else has any tips on this, drop it in the chat. But well, I'll show you here. It's a Crystallizer Sound Toys. It takes your sound and it like reverses it and glitches it and adds like distortion. Just fucks up your sound when I'm like, I need ear candy, or like I want something weird to happen here. I will feed my vocals through it. So I'd recommend maybe try, fucking with some vocals. Any kind of interesting, like fun, playful effect you have, throwing some vocals in, getting some fun samples, and then working them in this area, because then there's kind of like a swirly vocal scene, and then like everything comes back in later. Another thing is I was having an idea for like the synth here. Like I kind of wanted like a random overarching like effect to fuck it up. Here's what I'm thinking. There's this in Ableton. There's a it's called tape malfunction. I'm just gonna write it down. Tape malfunction is what it's called in Ableton. And it like takes your sound and repitches it and like makes like a weird tape thing. Anyways, not just tape malfunction, you could do this with anything, but I was imagining like some kind of effect where like it's a momentary effect, it turns on and like everything kind of like reverses or like flips to the left or the right or like gets distorted. Like, I don't know, it'd be kind of a fun way to mix up something that is like so like stable, just like some kind of weird like swirly or like drop out, or I don't know, just something to play around with or think about it. But yeah, really love this one. Definitely adding this one to the playlist. And I didn't add Morgan's song to the playlist, and I definitely wanted Morgan's song on the playlist, so let's go ahead and add it to our playlist. Okay, fabulous. I think we got one more on this queue. We've got Chaos Reach, and whoever's this is, remind me, because I've forgotten the chat. Let's give it a listen.
I was in a bad way. All I did was complain. I thought my life was a joke, but when I was with you, I could make my way through. And I got on the right road because when you smile, I feel alive. It's better with you. Everything is better with you. Everything is better with you. It's better with you. It's better with you.
That was dope. That was fucking sick. That was 2 minutes of just beautiful. Love the way you set the vibe. You said your friend was a singer. They sound great. Very well recorded vocals. Let me love on this for a second longer. I love the vocals. This is like very much my style, not in like what I make, but like what I love. Like the bouncy, drop out, come back in, right? It's like such a fucking vibe. Honestly, I would like love to look inside this project. I think it's very cool. Screenshot this project, send it to us. Yeah. Love how it's simple. Love how it makes me want to go back and listen to it again. Like it's short, just like 2 kind of choruses or like main like energy, like 2 breakdowns, 2 energy builders, whatever. Love this. A couple notes. One, let me just play this back for a second.
I was in a bad way.
So the only thing that is striking me between the vocals and instrumental is I feel like the vocals sound so pop quality, like not even like processed. They just sound so clean. Like the vocals sound really, really good, relatively dry. Whereas the actual instrumental is giving more muffled. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a muffled. It blends definitely better in this section, but for this area here, that's what was catching me off guard, is that like it felt like the instrumental was just a little bit like more muffled and like small and like tight, and the vocals were so like upfront and big and beautiful. So there's a way to like, I'm not sure what kind of processing you're doing on the instrumental, but maybe open it up a little bit and also work with your space, because it's also like the vocals almost feel wider than the instrumental. Like I'm getting the instrumental was kind of like a little like bundled package, like a baby Moses about to go down the river is how I like felt the instrumental was. Whereas I think it could be kind of sharper or like maybe more saturated, gritty, I don't know, and then like a little bit wider. So that's from like a mix, what I would say. And then I think I just had a couple creative ideas here. Some vocal harmonies, like, dude, I don't know if y'all fuck with Moses Sumney. He is fucking amazing. I'll drop it in the chat, but Moses Sumney, what an absolute baller. Really incredible vocal harmonies, and that's kind of what I was hearing like rising around this area. You have this like beautiful vocal run here, and what if we had 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 other harmonies doing kind of the same thing, but maybe in different octaves or with different lines. Like I think for that area, like all of a sudden having this like thick, wide vocal of like harmonies, and you know, and right, there's like so much you can like kind of expand and contract in that area. So if you can get him in for another recording session and work on some harmonies there, I think that would be the cherry on fucking top. And then also just one more thing is for these vocals, it would be cool to have some kind of like width or like reverb that you automate going out like on the vocals to make it bigger and then snap back into small like around the chorus. Because you have like build, but it's still just one vocal. So what if you had either harmonies or like harmonies coming up around the side or reverb coming in, or like how can you make that bigger and wider? I think that would be a really cool touch to this. Definitely adding this to the playlist. Y'all are crushing it this week. Fucking fabulous. There we go. Chaos. I hope you come again and share another song because I love this and I would love to hear more of what you make. All right, guys, we are opening the queue back up again. If you have a song that you've submitted, go ahead and comment the name of it in the chat and I will find it and add it to the queue. If anybody wants to have a one-on-one session with me too, I teach privately. DM me if you are like, I like what she said about this, but I want to actually do it with her, or I would love to have a more in-depth chat about my song or any other song or mixing or whatever. So definitely feel free to reach out to me about that. Otherwise, I think that's all. I hope you guys are getting ready for the holidays and winding down and hopefully have a little bit of a break time to spend with family and such. Okay, we have Closer by Junie or June 3. Closer. How do I organize these? Okay. Great. We'll add that to the queue. Next, we have Amethyst has Losing Myself. Fabulous. Add to queue. We've got Two Missed Calls by Jeremiah. That's a provocative name. I'm like, I want to know about these missed calls. Add to the queue. We've got There Is Light by Madeline. I don't know why it's not coming, Madeline. That's annoying. Since it's still not coming, email it to me. Oh, fuck. How do I share? Yeah. If you email me, I'll upload it from the email because I don't know why it's not coming through for some reason. Hi, Vachan. No, submit a song. So Maudon, email me that and we'll figure out a way to get it in the queue. So it's lillianfrancismusic@gmail.com. And then, ¿qué más tenemos? Oh, it's called Somna There Is Light. Wait, I feel like I saw a Somna, didn't I? No, not unless it was that one. You see it under Stronger Now. Oh, there. Wow, that took so long. Okay, that's better than you emailing me. Awesome. Add to the queue. I think we have one more or two more on the queue. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more on the queue. I think we had Stronger Now. Okay. By Sparker. Stronger Now. Awesome. Okay, we've got 5 on the queue, and then once we're done with these, we will take any other submissions. Okay, fabulous. Let's give our first one on the queue a listen. This is Closer.
Bastards can rise more.
Ooh, I like the way the reverb on the drums comes up at the end. I don't know if you like brought it up more at the end or if it just like I noticed it at the end, but because it sounds really good there, but also it's a lot, so you probably wouldn't want it on the entire thing. But like hearing it come out at the end is really nice. This is great. This is such a vibe. Really well mixed. I like the arrangement. It's relatively simple, right? But you have a lot of interesting stuff happening with your vocals. I did love your use of space for the percussion. However, because we have the percussion kind of bopping back and forth a little bit. However, I did notice I think you could have more stuff out to the sides because it is mainly down the center.
Every day I'm needing more. I can't take it anymore.
Besides the bass, is the bass in stereo? Because the bass seems like honestly the whitest thing. Which actually doesn't necessarily sound bad in this track. It's not, I don't think it's gobbling it up. I think it's a pretty good level for the bass. However, I think that you have all these like vocals, and I would love to have a little bit more, I don't know if like harmonies, but or like use of space. Like I feel like all the vocals are down the center, and like there could be some cool effects where like you have the vocal and then it like, you know, shoots left or shoots right. Because there are like some effects that you have in your vocals, like stutters and stuff. And I think if you paired that stutter with like some interesting like panning, that could also be cool. And or like stacking some vocals to create more width and then coming back to narrow vocals with narrow vocals, etc. But other than that, I like this mix. I think we need a little bit of EQ. I think it's a little bit jumbled in like the mids and low mids, but otherwise I think this is really, really good. And you're probably very close to finishing this, and so I hope you do, and then I hope you release it. Yeah, you wanted to do that? Awesome. Okay, on similar levels. Love that. Dude, thank you so much for coming and submitting the song. I love it. And yeah, again, we're going to add this one to the playlist. Hyphy. Okay, on to the next one. We got Losing Myself by Amethyst. hell yeah, dude. This is a beautiful track. Lovely instrumental. I'm curious if you're gonna do vocals on this as well, or if it's just the instrumental. I would say the main things that I would do to this one, I think I would bring up that piano because it starts so low. I would bring it up to start with, and then it'll be a little bit more even, like with the guitar. Like you can see right here, the guitar, especially that like the initial like strum or like the strike of the guitar is very, very forward. Like if you listen to this here, or maybe that's the kick that I'm hearing. But I think those could be blended a little bit better by just bringing up the piano a little bit. And then I totally get you about like the sharp transitions, but I think right here, you can hear that there's something in there that doesn't hit perfectly. It's like either starts a little early or a little too late, but you can kind of hear that. So I would go back in and look at that. Do you hear that? And then in terms of this, I know what you're going for, like a really kind of like big, like, well, I think I know what you're going for, like a very big soaring chorus. I think that it's really close. I think it could use a couple more synths. I think that the big, like airy, like string, like kind of almost like screechy strings that you have in here, I think that's a lovely top layer, but I don't think that it is acting as like the meat of like the synth hit, you know? So I would flip through a couple presets and add another synth to really hold down like the real meat of that like soaring section. Hopefully that makes sense. And then the other thing, yeah, I think there's actually more. Oh, and then I would love to like finally get like a beat at the end if you're down. If you want that, because like the whole time you're like edging on it, and like here you like drop a couple and then you kind of tease at it again, and I want to hear like or not necessarily that or like right here, but like especially here when we get to the very end, like being able, like breaking into like an actual beat where we have like, and it doesn't have to be like too intense, but like an actual steady kick and like even like a snare, I think would like really hit at that point. So yeah, those are my 2 cents. Thanks for trusting me with this, and thank you so much for submitting, and welcome. I think this was your first time too, or maybe not. Sometimes it's hard to tell if names are familiar from Instagram or from YouTube. But thanks for coming. All right, we got our next one, which is 2 Missed Calls. Jeremiah.
I got 2 missed calls, I can't help it. I want you to be mine, I'm so selfish. By now I find that you're hopeless. Find that you're hopeless. Find that you're hopeless. 'Cause you've been living reckless with your love. You've been living reckless with your love. Late at night, I found myself Dallas, not thinking straight. My mind was crowded. A rainy day, always a little cloudy. I'm at a place, wonder if you find me. We surfing the waves, think of the old days. We surfing the waves, think of the old days. Think of the old days. tracks from last night over and over, over and over again. The good, the bad, apologies you wish you didn't have on the horizon, on the horizon.
Oh my god, we're so lucky to have so many amazing songs. Not that it's not always amazing. I'm actually consistently impressed with how talented of producers you guys all are, but I feel like we have a lot of new folks coming in today, dropping like freaking bangers and dropping songs that feel very unique. This one feels very unique. It's got so many different sections. You kind of think it's going one way, and then it pulls out a different vibe, and then it pulls out a different vibe. But it's all on vibe, but it's a bunch of different vibes all snatched into one little package, which I really like. I think it sounds great. Let me just go through, and I definitely want to add this to the playlist. Let's throw it on. Yeah, fabulous. Okay, so I think the first thing that I want to note on a mixing note is I think the vocals come in too hot here.
I got 2 missed calls, I can't help it.
I mean, okay, I look at this comment I wrote here. I'd bring the vox down a bit, ... Wait, now I take that back. When it's just the vocals, and like that kind of like dun 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 guitar, it feels like the whole track is a pretty punk rock, and then your vocals are like so clear and nice up front that I would, for this section, probably actually add either like some distortion or like something to make your vocals a little bit more kind of, dare I say, robot-y, or like a little bit more like punk rock and a little bit further back, so they're kind of sunk back into your instrumental. And then I really like the way that they come up and are matched by the upness of the instrumental here.
Find that you're helpless, 'cause you've been led for reckless with your love. Late at night, I find myself Dallas.
So like by the time we get here, the vocals are definitely sunk into the track. So I don't know, for just like a little bit at the beginning, I think having them like in back, and then when you're ready to like have them jump forward, then that's like a nice also just change throughout the song. You know, we're always thinking about how can we change an element, what can we do to it to bring it in, take it out, tell a story, engage our listener. So I think doing like a little kind of sunken vocals, and then have the vocals come and be free and be present. And then also here, I think the vocals come a little hot.
Day, night.
But in this case, I actually do like the way that they jump out from the instrumental, but I also wanted, I just want them down a little bit in volume. I think they could come down easily, like 5 decibels and be fine. Also, when you sang day, night, did anybody else think of this video? Have you guys, funny animals, birds. Let's see if I can get just, have you guys seen this?
Nighttime, daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime, daytime.
What are you doing?
Having a game of nighttime, daytime. You want to play?
No, you're right. I got an Xbox.
That's what I immediately thought of, and I thought, I was hoping that you were continue singing nighttime, daytime, nighttime, daytime. Fabulous. Anything else? Not really. Oh, you're using this like kind of like hit the whole time as like both what sounds like a snare and like kind of a hat. And I can hear some differentiation between It's like a little bit higher in tempo, but I think if that like that feels like it's almost taking up way too much space in the track. So I might bring that down a little bit or shorten that sample a little bit, or maybe have another sample that's a little bit less in your face, and then layering it with a snare that's a little bit more snare like, because it's not really obvious as a snare. It feels like more of like a splash or something. Fabulous. Oh, a telephone effect. Yeah, totally. That's a good idea. Cool. I love this though. This was awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremiah, for sharing it. All right, up into our next one, we have got Malden. Somna, There Is a Light remix.
To the sky, in the darkness there is light. Can we go there? Can we go there? Forget the world we've left behind. Find the peaceful state of mind. Can we go there? Can we go there? See you on the other side when I wake up, when I find a place that I call mine, when I wake up, when I
Holy shit, you started this yesterday? That's awesome. That's how long have you been producing for? Holy shit. That's a pretty fast flow. Sick, dude. I mean, if this is just one day in, then I mean, I think you're going to get to these notes eventually, but I'll tell you what I'm hearing. Total vibe, really great like transitions throughout, or not necessarily transitions, but like very different vibes throughout, right? It's like a very dynamic ride, which I think is really nice. And when it finally comes in at the end, like we were popping off in the chat, like it does go super hard. also love the way you have a lot of synths stacked up in there, but they are all doing something a little bit different. Like I can hear they're either like a different rhythm, a different like timbre, like it feels like you very intentionally selected each synth to do its part here, and I think it sounds really good. The main thing is just volume leveling, honestly, is what it was coming out to me, because you have certain sections that are really loud, like this section, versus other sections that feel very quiet. And not sure if these vocals are AI or not. Would love to know where you got these vocals from, because they sound a little bit.
I'm looking up to the sky in the dark.
Right? It's just giving AI a little bit. So if it's not AI, I would say, well, if it is AI, maybe can someone else sing this? But I mean, nothing, not necessarily wrong with AI, but they're just, I can hear like a lot of like sibilance and like artifacts, essentially. Do what you want with that. But then I was gonna say, in like this section, I mentioned I was like general mixing notes, and basically I'm just like here I would say I want to hear like more like better volume matching, and I want to hear more width, and I want to hear it come forward more, because this feels like really tight and kind of in the center. But I'm sure that as you go through and mix this, it'll sound better. Oh, they're from AI. They're from the original track. Okay, that's why they sound a little weird. Probably is the. I'm curious if you separated the stems yourself or if you got them that way. Cool. Well, then nothing you can do about that except for maybe a little bit de-essing. Cool. But badass. I will add this one to the playlist. Really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for submitting. Love it. Okay, and last one in this queue, we got Steven, Stronger Now. Let's go.
I'm stronger now. After all the heartbreak, I turned the page. I found my way. After all the heartbreak, I turned the page. Love ended, left a hurt pain. Stronger now, my heart in flames. Moving on. Oh yeah, love is strong. Walked out alone on some rainy nights, no more tears running from my eyes. Lessons learned, now I see the signs. Till I took my match, just watch me rise. Used to break down when the night comes. Now I hold the sun, new day begun. Healed each piece I thought was done, then love rushed in. I won't run my way. After all the heartbreak, I turned the page. Love ended, left a hurt pain. Stronger now, my heart in flames. Moving on, moving on. I found my way. After all the heartbreak, I turned the page. Love ended, left a hurt pain. Stronger now, my heart is moving I found my way. After all the heartbreak, I turned the page. Love ended, left a hurt pain. Stronger now, my heart in flames. Moving on, moving on. Love is strong.
Woo, okay. classic Steven track. I really like this one. I thought the mix was really good. Great use of space, really good leveling. Honestly, really no notes about the mix. The vocals, I will say, I know you love using AI vocals. I think it would be really powerful if you maybe could find an artist, like a real live artist, to sing them. Obviously, like that's a phenomenal vocal performance and would take like a lot to, you'd have to find the right person, a special person. But I think that's like the main thing of making this sound like the real deal is if we had like actual real vocals, because you can tell they're AI, just the timbre of them, the way they sound, which I don't think is a great sound. But she wrote a great song. This AI robot wrote a great song, and it has a very hooky melody. So I would just say if you can get a real person to sing this and mix in, that would be great. I'm also curious where you get your brass samples from, because I think they also sound really good. I'm curious. But that was very cool, very fun, and let's add that to the playlist. Steven, thank you for sharing again. What a joy. All right, queue is cleared. We are ready to get more for the queue. If you have not had your song listened to yet, I know Vachan, we haven't listened to your song. Go ahead and submit it now. And we will select 5 more and then go through them. Thanks to everyone who submitted. I love seeing folks chit chat in the chat because you guys can get, I'm not the only pro here. A lot of you guys are also really amazing producers, and we all learn different shit and can explain different shit and hear different stuff. So it's really useful having more folks in the chat who know what they're talking about. So thank you for encouraging each other. And please join the Discord. I would love to have more activity in it, so feel free to join it. The link to that is in the description of this video. And yeah, post some shit. Post your own songs, or post a fun video that you like, or whatever. Alrighty-o. We've got some at the end. Okay, we got Dreaming of the Morning Sun by Vachan. Let's see what we have here. Fabulous. Add that to the oh my god, I'm excited. Okay, Lost Dream by Rook. Okay, great. That's right here. Embalm. Where is Embalm? Whoever submitted this, I don't know what that's called. Could that be Embalm? Maybe. True Color, Stronger Now, Soma, Purple Ghost, Lost Dream, Losing Myself. Oh, this one. Okay, I need the name that you submit, or else it's really hard for me to find. Okay, Club Trash. I Saw You. Stamand. I lied. I don't see I Saw You. Yeah, there it is. I Saw You on the dance floor. Add to queue. And Club Trash. Yep. Got that. AOT and Emiliana, B minor. Let's add that to the queue. And Amethyst, we only have time for 1 each, unfortunately. Okay, cool. Select your ketchup. I can't tell if the name of your song is My Fault or if you were referring to something else. But let's see if we have one called My Fault. Again, it's really helpful if you say the exact upload title. Okay, I don't see My Fault. Voodoo Mama Juju Allen Ash song title. I don't know what that means. All right. I think that's it for now. And how many is that on the queue? That's 5 on the queue. All right, let's go through it. Vachan, let's go. That was a cool delay at the end. That's like changing times. I'm curious what the delay that is, Vachan. That's really cool. Sick, dude. I love this. It's really fun. We've heard, you're right. It's a little bit different than what you normally do. This is more like playful fun. Yes, we said beach, driving, like picnic for puppets, etc. Whereas I think most of your songs, like I envision myself like at a club, just be like, wow, wow, you know, like when it's happening. But this was so fun. Obviously, chat loving it. Would love to see a collab with you and Morgan. Vachan, I don't know if you were here at the beginning when we listened to Morgan's track, but you definitely want her vocals on your track. She's awesome. I love it. I don't really have any mixed notes or really anything. I think this is a really fun track. I think you should get vocals on it and then you should release it. This is Hyphy. Echo Boy. Nice. I love it. Cool. Let's add that to the playlist for sure. Vachan, thank you so much for sharing that. All right, next up we have Lost Dream. Dude, that was fucking tight. That was sick, dude. This is very different from what I hear. Like, I don't know if I've ever really heard anything like this. This was so cool. And as you saw, chat popping off over there. Whose was this, guys? I'm trying to look up at the chat so I can remember. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Lost Dream. This was Rook 1E2. Awesome, dude. Thanks for coming. I think this is your first time submitting. This is fucking sick. If you have anything out, you should also, and anyone who has anything out, please feel free to drop your link to your socials, or your Spotify or your Apple Music or wherever you share music in the link so we can keep up with it. Review a newbie though to y'all. I'll study more music. You're a newbie? Really? Doesn't sound like you're a newbie. It sounds like someone who has a pretty fucking good grasp of what they're creating and is able to turn their visions into reality pretty well. So great job. I honestly don't really have any points. Amethyst said, I think it was Amethyst who said maybe like a sub saw bass. I think actually I would stick to like, sorry, not someone in the chat said 6 saw bass. I would actually stick to a more of like a sub for this, just because you have so many saws happening. Like if we stack saws on every single frequency level, I think it might get a little bit, I don't know, it might sound good, try it, but I have a feeling that having a slightly different bass holding it together, maybe even a slightly stronger sub, because I couldn't really hear the bass. I'm not sure if just there was a lot happening, so I didn't really notice it, but I think you could bring that up. But yeah, dude, if you're a newbie, Amethyst says, I'm gonna hang on my boots. You know, we all work on different timelines. As someone who works with a lot of students, some people seem to get it immediately, and some people it takes years and years. It took me so long to get it. I'm definitely, I feel like, in the years and years category. But I've been doing this for like 11 years, so thank God it's finally somewhat easier, but still a challenge every time. This was fucking tight. We're putting on the playlist. I actually really don't have any notes for this. Thought it was awesome. Definitely come back with another song. Okay, let's head on to our next one, which is Club Trash Embalm. Wow, that's feels like I'm about to get killed in the club. Okay.
Frustration leads to desperation. It's just the guilt that's suffocating. Preserve my love, embalm my heart. I drink myself to heavy antics. Expect replies, I'm so dramatic. It rips me apart.
Wow, that was such a fun track. Wow. Hell yeah. So many great new songs and new vibes up in the club tonight. I'm absolutely stoked on it. I think I asked if you were singing on this. I'm assuming yes. I didn't see your answer, but yeah, bitches be popping off in the chat. We love this. Very cool. I like how it changed up throughout. You thought it was going one way and then it didn't. It was like all under the same vibe umbrella, but you really switched it up a lot. I don't really have any mixed notes. I really liked your mix. I like the vocal production, the vocal like fuckery. Actually, I don't think I had anything to say about this one. I think it's really great. I think you should get this mastered and release it. Yay! Thank you for sharing. We love your friend on Catch Up. Cool. So dope. We're going to add that to the playlist. Thank you so much for submitting it. Oh, actually, no. The one thing I was going to say is I think the vocals at the very end could come up and the synth could come down. Because the synth is just taking up more space than it needs to. I think synth back a little bit, vocals come up a little bit, and then it'll be really great. So, fuck yeah. Bye, Madelon. Bye, Madelon. Love it. Thanks for coming. See you next time. Okay, off to Distem. I saw you on the dance floor. Let's check it out.
And I saw you on the dance floor, moving with your head back, trying to act like you don't see me, but I saw you looking back. And I saw you on the dance floor, moving with your head back, trying to act like you don't see me, but I saw you looking back. And I see you in the light, and I see you on the floor, trying to dance with someone else, but I see me more. And I see you in the light, and I see you on the floor, trying to dance with someone else, but I see me more. And I see you at the bar, trying to have a good time. I know it's been so hard, but I saw you in the line. And I see you at the bar, trying to have a good time. I know it's been so hard, but I saw you in the line. And I see you in the light, and I see you on the floor, trying to dance with someone else, but I see me more. And I see you in the light, and I see you on the floor, trying to dance with someone else, but I see me more. And I saw you on the dance floor, moving with your head back, trying to act like you don't see me, but I saw you looking back. And I saw you on the dance floor, moving with your head back, trying to act like you don't see me, but I saw you looking back. And I see you in the light, and I see you on the floor, trying to dance with someone else,
Wow. Fuck yeah. Let me write one more note. Wow, love this. What an absolute like chill vibe, but also a banger simultaneously. This is a really special one. I really like this one. I'm gonna add this one to the playlist. Your girlfriend's an amazing singer and vocalist, and very well recorded, very well mixed. The vocal sounded great. The whole mix sounded really good. A couple things I would say is I would love maybe a little bit more synths, because it really felt like very kick and vocal heavy, and if the synths in the back could maybe be just a little bit wider, honestly, maybe like a little thicker or a little bit wider, I would just love to have kind of, I wasn't hearing really a lot of sounds in this area. I have a lot down the center. We got the kick and we have the snare and we have the vocals and the bass. But I was like upper left and upper right, I wasn't really hearing a lot. So if we could get the synths to maybe come in there, I think that'd be great. And then also, the snare just got a lot of low end for me that almost makes it sound like a kick, or it's kind of similar qualities to a kick. So I would scoop out that low end from the snare. It's like it kind of like has kind of like a gargle to it, is how I would describe it. So I would pull not all of it. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily cut underneath the fundamental, but maybe bring down the fundamental a little bit, or I don't know. I just like a little bit of a snappier, kind of airier snare. I think would sound great with this. But otherwise, awesome. She's French. Love it. So good. Fabulous. Okay, thank you for submitting. Next up, we have Aodi and Iarlilia. B minor.
I was looking to see
Go slow.
something I wrote to Nano the other day, and I was looking to see if I found it, so I could have just say that.
Take time with it, move it slow, go grind, get it, wind it low, same time hit it, Luciano, lay fine with it, steal the show, two kites gliding, let it flow, night breeze blowing, heartbeat grow, go bin with it, let rhythm show, sweet wine baby, watch it grow, take time with it, wind it slow, go grind with it, make it snow, take time with it, wind it slow, take time with it, wind it slow. 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 Go grind, get it, make it snow.
But like, you don't even have to sing. You can do one shots like, big ups, pressure. You a big mother.
Go slow, go slow, go slow, slow. Go slow, go slow, go slow, girl.
Thank you for the love, the laughter, the challenges we face together, and the quiet moments that make me and remind me how blessed I am to walk through this life with you. I was looking to see
Oh my god, if that wasn't like the most like heartwarming / soul hugging song I've heard all day, then I don't know what is. That was really so sweet, and loved having your son in there, and cute how you were sharing that your daughter's dancing to the music and your son's in the music. Like, we love being able to share that with the little ones. That's honestly so deeply sweet. Let's see, notes on this. I really liked just the way that the song was like your recording session in a lot of ways. The things sound great. The vocals come in really nice and up front in the beginning, but then her vocals are just louder than yours.
Something I wrote to Nano the other day, and I was looking to see if I found
Versus
it.
you.
Take time with it, move it slow, go grind.
Like she's out in front of everything and you are down, like kind of sunk back into everything. So I would bring up your vocals. I would also bring down the shaker a little bit because right now it almost feels like the shaker is the most important thing. That is what I'm paying the most attention to. So I think we can put the shaker back a little bit more, bring your vocals up a little bit more. It's pretty sparse. You might want to add like another like pad or instrument or like a little guitar pluck or like something in there if you're feeling so inspired. But otherwise, if you're liking it really simple, then keep it that way. And then I would also say, oh yeah, I was hearing for this area right here when you were saying go slow.
Take time with it, wind it slow. Take time with it, wind it slow. Take time with it, wind it slow. Take time with it.
Take time with it, wind it slow. Every time you say that, I love the repetition. And what if we brought in your vocals an octave below, harmonizing or doubling up that vocal? So take time with it, wind it slow, take time with it. I think that could be a really nice layer. So I would try that out. Otherwise, I think it sounds great. I really liked it. Thanks so much for sharing. We're going to throw this one on the playlist. Awesome, guys. Okay, I'm going to open up one more time. If anybody hasn't submitted any songs yet, now is your final chance for us to listen to them. If you're watching on Instagram and you want to submit a song, we'll see if you can do it in time. Does anybody have another song? If no one responds here, well, I'll just start talking about our next one, which is going to be not on New Year's Eve. We're going to do 3 weeks from now. So the January 7th is going to be our next song share live stream. And then in the new year, I'll either do every like second and fourth or first and third Wednesday, or I'll just keep doing every other week, depending on how I'm feeling. But yes, next one is going to be on the 7th. Thank you guys so much for joining. I have so much fun with this. It's like such a warm, sweet vibe. And I hope that all of you guys are leaving a little bit more inspired to start new music, to finish old music, to collaborate. I saw some ideas about collaboration in the chat. It's just really fun here to be out here building community. So if you want to keep hanging out with the folks you're chatting with here, you can go ahead and join our Discord. The link for that is in the description, and pop off in the Discord, share some shit, because it is what we make of it. And I think that's it. If anybody wants to do any get their tracks mixed, I mix tracks and love doing it, so holler at me for that. And if anybody wants to do a deeper dive, some like one-on-one production stuff or one-on-one mixing stuff, I'm happy to do lessons, so you can holler at me about that. And also, I have lots of production tutorials on my YouTube page, and definitely want to be making more. I want everybody to know that is my intention, to make more YouTube videos and more long-form educational content. But right now, I have so much going on that I literally don't have time for it. But you guys are fucking awesome. Love hanging out. Thank you to everyone for submitting. And I'll be posting that playlist in the Discord. I know some of these songs are going to be stuck in my head, and I'm going to need to listen to them again. So rock on, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you guys on the 7th. Bye-bye now.